On the next episode of Hypnosis, I'm gonna have to break down and do this. We're gonna have to talk about incubuses and succubuses, just for the hell of it. It's not like always pertaining to every facet of this. Some of it's like closer to reality and humane. Some of this stuff, like, I just gotta cut off some of this because some of these people don't know what they're even like talking from or what filing cabinet they're trying to come out of. It's like I fucking own and run Ghostbusters Distribution or some fucking shit. Either way, they're fucking trash and shit, but like, I may have to just talk about it and get it out of the way about why some of these people think that they're following some kind of influencement for sensualization or sensualizationalism or whatever the fuck that it is. I'm a fucking thing. But I'm gonna have to like go on the subject of why they're disgusting so that people don't realize what they're like nurturing or training about themselves. It's just disgusting. Or what someone like little girl you're trying to practice on. Because I don't know you. And some of them are grown ass bitches that I don't even understand why the fuck you instill or provoke this fucking behavior. But then by the end of it, I was sitting there, I was thinking, like, when I analyzed it, because I didn't really think about it too much, I just try to ignore that shit as much as possible. And then I realized, man, either you young as fuck, or you're so infantilely minded that I didn't even recognize you as, well, I thought you like an adult, but you're like really young-minded, because even for 25, I still consider that like you young-minded as shit. Or even the ones that are like 40 and 50 that try to do that shit seem so juvenile. That's just disgusting. So either way, it wasn't like I need to know any minors or anything, but like it's just some young-minded fucking behavior. But by the end of it, I'm like, maybe I need to review this and why it's not bad if you don't already know why it's bad, if you don't already know why it's like fucking disgusting. It's not supposed to be that bad that you think it's cool for you to be that motherfucking way or some shit. But anyway, we going back to some other shit and explain like whether you know what one is or not, or experienced one or not, it's not like the thing you trying to be anyway. It's just fucking disgusting, low life, haunting ass bullshit. And it's just a different form of haunting that they think is closer to working. But it's like, how many people put up with your behavior is more, but like, what do you think they're into? Using you like a tool, or like sex, or not giving you shit? Like, I don't owe you. Like, I'm still not your fucking type. That doesn't mean that you should be comfortable trying to practice that bullshit on me. Of course I fucking ignored you, but there's certain times where I gotta stop you because you putting me in some danger, yourself in some danger. For me, why should I have to respond to it? Is the potential danger for how stupid somebody would have to fucking be. Like, it's just fucking stupid. So either way, like, the reason I have to like consider your angles and what you're thinking, what you think you're aspiring to, is so dumb. So I have to cancel that inspiration because that's just fucking disgusting. At least it's not mine. It had nothing really to do with me. But why I don't, I'll give you that opinion later. That shit is so disgusting. And because they think because a woman's succubus, it's supposed to be just alright. No, fuck no. I didn't find that to be pleasurable. Even when I was young, and I'm talking about like really super juvenile, I didn't find succubus to be very entertaining. I was one of those like little weird captain kids that even if you found me in those situations, it would be like, no, I don't like this type of bitch or whatever the fuck. Like, I just didn't like it. Like, I didn't have like a super strong opinion. I'm not like savage hearted in the way where like, you fucking whore. Like, I wasn't like that or anything. So like, it was just kind of like, you could just tell I was not entertaining that bullshit to any value system. Even though you would think it'd be like a little young man's dream to just like have a wet one over a bitch like that, I suppose, but not really at all. Like, at all whatsoever. Especially if you knew the way that I marinated on my heart, or why people even have like a fly to honey concept molasses about my kind of like way. Because I just don't understand. Like, if I grew up like that and you like me because of some only thing that I can describe as an adult as some classy behavior, then why the fuck are you into me? Like, what the fuck? Or like, what is that? Or like, how much of yourself are you willing to give up to just to try to conquer me or whatever the fuck? Because sometimes I just don't understand that bullshit. And like, you know what further makes it worse is like, I really want to talk to you. I really like you. I really love you. Like, first off, I don't think you really know me, and everything that you seem to like about me is like the polar opposite of what you're like doing to like provoke me or to induce me or inspire yourself or be passionate with me or whatever the fuck that is so sick and twisted. I'm like, maybe you're used to that and you don't even know what you're dealing with, and then you think my dark side is that, so it's another facet that maybe there's a level to play with me in some sicko fucked up way in sexually. No, I'm just not like that. So I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't have a common ground for that. And no matter how much I try to explain other things, it's like you only speak one other language and you're trying to talk to me and I don't, like, really have that language. Or I haven't know what it is, but I'm not making this up because I want something from you or an argument or to be with you or to have a fucked up relationship with some bitch, or like even when trashy girls don't offend me that much, I don't want a trashy relationship. And even if you were trashy and I fell in love with you, or you were acceptably trashy or some like, you know, rocked out rock on girl type of fucking way, even if I did, that's not how I would love the person. They would just be doing their own love, and I'd be doing my love, and our love would have some translation. But by the end of it, no. The answer is mostly no. I didn't see anything, and even devotion isn't a good enough answer to me when it just seems like your only intention left, or your only positive is that you could backstab me. I don't want to be in that kind of relationship. Like, it's almost like I'd prefer blackmail. At least I could work for some kind of ethic instead of like nothing but like, oh, I backstabbed because I felt like it, or I felt trashy that moment or that day or whenever I felt like well, bitch, no. And even the better parts of succubuses are more complicated, but they didn't even expect to accomplish as much. Like, what are you looking for? Like, what the fuck? But anyway, back to, like, I'll try to frame this and then let it be what it is definitively. And then if you think that that's your inspiration, then I guess you'll see why it's just like, fuck yourself and go to the oblivion, because I don't owe you. Like, I just don't owe you. Can't fathom it, don't want to. And even if I could explain it or render it to the point where you understood why someone else could have punished you and that I don't care, then I don't know what to do with you. I'm just not in that fucking folder. I'm not there. I'm not at those buttons. Even if I had the power to, like, sometimes I'm just not involved as much as people would want me to punish you. I'm just throwing it in a different folder. I just don't owe you. I just know that it has to be somewhere else. Well, like, it has to be somewhere else in somebody else's mind, because it doesn't belong to me. It just doesn't belong to me. Then you want to bring multiple personalities into it? I don't have any of those. I know that you want like a trickster geist motherfucker, but you looking for one so hard, and then you want me to be one so bad that you try to paint it on me, and I just don't respond to that, because this is not me. And after a while, like, did you know you do so many things wrong that I could literally hold one form of punishment on you, and then punish all these other clone two-faced motherfuckers that you are trying to say are doppelgangers of me? Like, bruh, like, it's so simple and so stupid that I don't even know why you would pick that way out. But just something to think about, because I don't really owe you. And it would be like, again, you did something that you think is complicated and Brute wins. Like, I don't owe Brute anything. And just stay off my voice. And stay off of my recognition. And just mind your own fucking business. Because I don't even do this shit like I'm getting something out of it. If it wasn't obvious, I'd just look like an idiot or a psychopath. Which I don't even really care about. Because the more walls you hit with me, the more opportunities it's like, did you understand what I gave you as a solution? Or just what to heckle me about? Or what you're really fucking mad about? Or why I won't give you a straight answer? Or why you end up in different filing cabinets where you can find your own fade out of something better than what I have to offer you, or what I can offer you for what I passed about. Because I don't owe you. You crazy. And if you know that I had an answer and you're still fighting me, you crazy, because you could have passed on without me. Like, you know, what the fuck you bring it to me for? I don't owe you. And even if you knew that I was smart about something, it's still the fact that I don't owe you, because you brought me only something to suffer. Well, I don't owe you suffering. Just get the fuck out. I'm a happy person. Go kiss ass and suck dick somewhere else, or just don't suck my toes, because I don't owe you anything. Or worse yet, what if that's bad enough to explain to you? Just don't suck my toes and get the fuck away from me. I'd rather shit in your mouth than figure out how my dick works around you. Or I'd rather shit in my own dick and then call it my toes and then tell you to get the fuck out. I hope the confusion helps. Yeah, go think about it. Yeah, it's disgusting, that's all. And it's sad too, because no one ever believed it, because like, sometimes I gotta make this shit sound surreal or unreal, because even if it is and it isn't, it's still kind of just like, oh, you think it's a joke. Why the fuck is it? Well, I'm sitting over there trying to give you some common sense so that we don't have to go to war. Dog, and you know what the real fact is? The whole crew know I'm too lazy to fucking fight you. I just don't care. Or I don't really want to argue with you and shit. So even while I'm sitting there and giving you some common sense, and there's some dude like grinding out a giant Kamehameha in the background, or a fucking lightning beast is like doing prep, and then there's just this giant poisonous frog that I'm standing there, and it's just changing colors and shit. Even when you can't imagine or see this, and you don't know what's in the background of why there's other people just sitting there toning up electricity and earth forces, and I'm just sitting there and I'm kind of talking to you, and like you may or may not even notice a little bit of it and then get scared and not know why I'm just talking to you normally and that everyone feels weird. But it's like you creating a hostage situation. You don't even realize how many nerds are willing to transform and just fucking like start going AWOL on our own philosophies just to like crush what you're talking about just because you a fucking succubus. Like, you have no idea how annoying that is to intelligent people that is like, what are you trying to betray about us? Like, we don't owe you anything, bitch. I don't sleep and shock boobs and like whoop ass because it's fucking fun for me. Those are other people. Stay the fuck away with us. Stay the fuck away from us and stay the fuck away with what we got. We don't owe you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't owe you. And then by the end of it, like, you don't even understand it. It's like, it's a game, but like, everybody else has powers too. So just stop bothering me about all this weird ass shit that somebody just tried to put you in check, drunk style. Like, I didn't even give you real me because you needed to hear it in a happy concept so that you don't have to live a life of misery, of devotion, dependency, and crazy crippling amount of how much devotion it takes or discipline it takes to require power. So, you know, back the fuck off before you live a long, empty life for nothing. And then, like, what? Some of them fuck whores. Why would I care? Life is so empty that that's how they found a hole in themselves to fill. Why would I care? I don't even judge them for it. I'm just saying that, like, stop looking for the other best if they keep bringing it up and he already explained it up to a point where you should have some coherency that's normal. Like, back the fuck off. And even if you're a bitch trying to prove something, why not just prove it like any other soldier? Because all the other better women than you, or the goddesses, they've already laid out work that's like, okay, you could tell it was a woman, but it was definitely laid out so strong that you believe it's a military strong woman, or that it's like a really resourceful, strong bitch. And it's just like, well, duh, all of them have something in common. They're strong people. Stop fucking with them. I might be a wall or a late-ass lazy barrier, but I gave you the most nice courtesy warning that we could possibly give, even from a hippie or a lazy-ass tribe. We just don't owe you. We don't owe you. You know what I'm saying? We don't owe you. And even for a fucking succubus, you'd have to be pretty fucking stupid. So anyways, by the end of it, I don't even like talking too nerdy to them. It's like letting them into our circles too. But like, by the end of it, I don't really know what you think you're messing with about a lot of things. So sorry that everybody else wanted to attack, or why it's sitting there and it looks like I'm on auto attack when I'm not. I'm not even doing anything to you. So hopefully you don't see multiple dimensions, because I don't fucking owe you. I don't owe you. And everybody knows I don't play that way anyway. Like, so I don't know why you're fucking with the belt guard or anything, or the basic stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you bullying or some shit. And like, worst case scenario, I hope you don't get hit with one of my transvestites, because they're fucking crazy good at everything, and they just don't say anything either. You'd be surprised if a woman get her ass whooped by a transvestite. I've seen it too many times to give a shit at all. So like, after a while, I don't know what little girl is working her way up to, but the way I bully you might be nice and entertaining and a little bit sultry, but it's very obvious that I was bold enough and big enough that I just wanted you escorted out pleasantly. I'm not like, you know, tank garbage just because I'm trash or anything. And every time I think that it's like a new low, it's just over because it's so sicko. It's like, yeah, I admit the soldiers look good doing that shit, but if you're aroused by that and you think that it never ends to be aroused, what if they end you? Don't they look pissed off to you? They don't look pissed off to you punching walls and doing all that bullshit? See, we're not talking about the immature ones that you tried to make feel like a low life about it because you couldn't live with the real answer. That's the backlash that they don't even understand, that they tried to make them look down in life because they already knew that the other better ones gave them a really fucked up answer. So that's why you like it when they lose their fucking temper, because no one has the energy to fight for your stupid bullshit because they know it's already bullshit to fight for what you're looking for and trying to do. You Snoopy, mind your own fucking business, or you're barking up the wrong fucking tree. And why would they want to fuck that out of you or me when I don't even owe them a fucking thing? Or that when the trash and the garbage shouldn't even need anything from any of them? Or go mind your own business because all of them earned that shit by fighting for. We're not even talking about money. We're talking about their straight pride. So, like, whatever. And you hate on that more than anything because it's another thing in life that you can't buy or honestly complain and bitch at. So, you know, oh well, whatever, like, you know, oh well. And then you're jealous of what power or what it takes to hold something. Why didn't you just go keep your philosophy, meet the right people, do good things in life? But then by the end of it, I guess your game was to be a good succubus. And I'm not talking about like some porno bitches. I'm not talking about like just like any of this. I'm talking about like pervert, like broad and pervert. And like, or whatever the fuck that is. But by the end of it, like, you know, trying to like test out something on me like that is fucking disgusting. I don't owe you anything. I don't even owe you my real admiration or my real idolisms or anything like that. Just go live. Find them out the normal way. Like, why are you trying to like work on me? Like, I don't like that type of bullshit, especially while you're trying to play other people's cards with me and you think that I'm gonna go with that bullshit. Like, you're gambling me on like what basis? And then it looks like you had a basis for me to be behaving that way? No, all the other people that knew better than that aren't like that. Why do you even idolize that? When even if that's not the catch that everybody did try to make after that, it was still just like you were haunting them because, and it depends on which bloodline you ask. On one side you could ask, and it would be like, well, you know, racism was like, how are you infinitely a slave if you can't just keep rolling yourself out of cuffs? Now, this is so ass backwards and so mixed up and so goddamn dignified that I don't know how to present to you the fact that everyone thinks that they're an animal, or on the other side all has magic. Now, I'm not sure why the fuck I'm even telling you this, but I'm also getting back to the fact that where you think a succubus comes from is almost stronger than how stupid you have to be to threaten somebody like that, or like me like that, or whatever the fuck you think that I don't know innately. And it's just kind of sad because you don't even know the statements you're laying to me when how amateur you look like. You don't even look like their own juveniles. It looks like a spawn dummy that tried to like flame find them and was just trying to steal some kind of incarnate of what they actually are talented for, which isn't even a talent, but that's what they would consider weaponizing themselves, and then trying to take that on me in your misery times for fighting for philosophies that you can't, because like it's like down enough that you can only love yourself, and there's just nothing wrong with that. Love yourself. They try to do that to all of us. Well, maybe not all of us, but at least they've tried to do that to me, and I'm not even anywhere near that industry or anything. And we're not talking about porn stars. We're talking about just the types of people that like to eat motherfuckers' souls in life and shit. But I won't go too great into deal, but hence succubus, hence incubus, or whatever the fuck. But anyways, by the end of it, like, if you don't see that the whole story and dialogue is that from the slavery and the power and the manipulation, nothing meant anything. And the end of the succubus story was that ass wasn't even good enough to get them out of it. And then you still don't know the real story. And when you use one thinking that you're going to get the better hand of them, almost all the elders know that it's just as disgusting as having to look down on the fact that you don't know what classism would have to be in order to respond to you, or what answers do you think that everyone else is going to get from this when no one really knows that they want to just keep calling you whore. And it's just disgusting to live around, and we live in a new world, and I want a new world than what we came from, or whatever the fuck, than to have to run them down like road stump about why the fuck they just like sex, and them trying to get confused with each other, or them in misplacing their inspirations into something even fucking worse. And it's just kind of like, goddamn, the bitch doesn't even know. And then, so I have to let it go. It just seems childish, and it would seem like I'm more like 2,500 years old, and I don't even know than that. And even when I could play that game, I don't, because I know better than that. And most of the other ones that are going to come up and say a bunch of other wild-ass shit are going to have more than a lot of weird talking to do. So even if you saw a trip or like seduced out of something, you're never going to be one of their children. You're just going to have to let that bullshit go and keep holding what you know is true in life, not what people just think that they can whip around their fucking finger as they parry a fucking drink from whatever country they thought they bought it from at whatever tax that they bought it from. Worse than tobacco even, just their fucking mere ego or attitude about things. What the fuck do you think you're purchasing yourself back from civilization? Like, come on now. Now, even when I won't even tell you the bloodline story of it, because it's still grotesque to know that the person fought for blood and life when there was none, and it will never make sense for only people to be a vampire anyway. That should be the moral of the story. But since you can't be as consistent as to actually think that it's only over sexuality, then you still would have to be a failure. It's just fucking disgusting, and it doesn't make any sense. So by the end of it, find a new inspiration. But how I'll bracket that on is that even in the modern day, as far as what that fucking goes for, to be an incubus or succubus, you're basically harassing them because you want a lifeblood or some kind of alien bloodline from them to bring you into the times of a hybrid bloodline so that you can pass through time cleanly without anyone noticing that you want to use elitist blood or a high... Well, it would probably be easier to speak in vampire about this, but let's just be honest with you. You want some other kind of a bloodline to pass time so that you can go to that other place and take advantage of something you saw, most likely, like wanting to play the stock market. Just an equivalent feeling, not the actuality. So by the end of it, people that are very aesthetic have a lot of weird fucking corrupt value systems and mental issues. So even when they have their own ways of dictating and explaining those things from a very old salvation, why do they need to pass that on when they want that information deleted? But as a new generation spans off and does things that they don't understand where it's coming from, and they look like a doll, dummy, robot, or a possessed demon to me, of course I don't always lash out on them, but the way that I leave them configured appropriately without scar tissue shouldn't be the only reason you admire me or would try to get anything from me. So whatever. And by the end of it, like, if you can't understand how wrong they are just by the way that they're treated nest puppy or as close as you're getting as a pet, then why not just go buy a dog at the store, like buy a little cat? I recommend that shit to everyone, and the other ones get mad because they're so much bigger than that. Well, like, I don't always eat on everything. Like, trust me, being Bill Compton or one of those vampires that doesn't eat every 5 fucking seconds isn't actually impressive to the rest of them, and they hate that shit and they don't like it. They will always hate those people. Right up there with the fact that Brutus is probably in his own right. And he always is. No matter how much he whips you or tortures you or even executes you, he's somehow fucking right. So leave me the fuck alone. And it's not like, you know, you're picking on the small fry. It's just enough to tank you to get you to the next message that you have to go to. Because people are stark craving fucking mad or fucking stupid or just stark out fucking nothing. Hackney or fucking stilted as shit. And it wouldn't even fucking matter. So by the end of it, like, incubus, succubus, it's just terrible to know how sicko that shit is. And like, you work so hard on something, and what you can't bend out of your own ego or will wouldn't be the world anyways, and it seems like you're not working out yourself, you're trying to work out the world, and it wouldn't even make any sense. So I don't even work that fucking hard. Take a hint, like, go be lazy or something. They're giving you me because I'm like, you know, convincing of otherwise, otherwise. Find something else to do. Have you tried a video game? For only $19.95, you can purchase the greatest hits of almost most video games that are out, up to almost new ones. Even your most latest consoles, like PS5. Like, come on now. Like, go get a life. And even though most of them don't encourage or hate video games for the other things that does to life, it's just not as wrong as the fact that, like, find something to do. Because trust me, otherwise, you sicko. Like, just find something that you can meditate on, anything. Because even the other people that meditate have a lot more patience for what is considered, like, things to do that are like orderly and juvenile, like from set 1 to set 2 to procedure, partition, and this and that. Or even nerdy people, they have more patience to do that. That's fine. Other people want to live an active outdoor life. That's fine. I'm not judging any of them. It's just kind of crazy that these concepts that you're coming up with are not the stronger, better of any of our breeds. Okay? And even being adopted by kings is not like the easiest fucking thing to deal with. So don't bother me about the extra bloodline questions. Because like either way, I still liked them and they still were just not wrong people. How can you go wrong with what I just told you? They're just not wrong people. It's not that they're also, leadership quality or high dignified people. They're just strong quality people. They are quality people. So after a while, the stigma is removed to understanding that they're just quality people. But, whatever. And by the end of it, nobody has a problem with porn or anything else sexual or even the fucking whore, really. But by the end of it, like, find a different use other than trying to, like, embed yourself under the skin. And it's like you've done lost your mind with sex if it's just as basic as that you started to realize that the human male penis just wants to get under your skin, so you started to lose your own fucking mind and started to believe that you're a vagina that wanted to be under some skin, and that you think that the rational behavior back would be to get fucked. I don't know if you're that horny or that simple, but like, whatever. If it's just a simpleton, I can fucking ignore it, but try not to be a fucking pleb, if anything. But back to the point, and not so much hip toxic tonic talk. What I really wanted to talk to you about is how the fuck are you going to inspire to that appropriately when I just told you both of those types in the simulation that I'm running here were both ditched very hard. Not in the new world where I'm like, yeah, where do you want to be dropped off at? Oh, well, all those places are safe. Oh, they have an arena for that. Buy some pepper spray. Like, there's a lot of good things that I could say that would be like, well, you're just not that girl anyway. And no matter how you try, you never will be. But then it's still kind of like, why do you need sickos or someone like strong-minded to prove that you're a sicko bitch because you're capable of some demonic behavior? And it's like, even in that term, like, where slavery comes from isn't even the first or the last race you thought about. So even when it's still like, work hard enough that your magic isn't understood and that slavery or sex is a break from work ethic, well, then fuck no. Don't talk to me about my parents. They're old enough to not know, to not want to know, and still to work hard to not know. How about that? I don't owe anybody that shit. And even if you thought that was really misery for them, it's misery for me, because I don't need to rehear all 4 or 5 stories feeling like my mind was gangbanged by all they had was work ethic and basically sex and trying to push the planet to a new degree if they couldn't just like harass and badger their fucking kids to death about like bothering each other and bitching and bitching and bitching. And it's not like my parents always did some bitching. It's just one of them fucking things where like parents are like that for some reason, and we don't even know what their frustration is with the fucking world. Or those type of parents that don't know a damn thing and their frustration is to get information out of the other one, which is even fucking worse, because then it's like, how do you think I got adopted? Right. But even my parents weren't like that, so you get the side story, but you can leave with a better interest. Anyways, what I really mean is that that's so fucking crazy. Not literally adopted, I mean philosophically and ideally for what you think that people do or something. But anyways, by the end of it, all of these things are border clauses to maybe just getting home without your fucking drama. And like, even if the end we'll vote for watch some TV about it, great romanticism, so on and so forth, but then by the end of it, the opportunity should be to find yourself fetching in some decent way, or at least fetching something to do. What you remember is them getting together. What we remember is like, I better go get a fucking pail of water, or scrap out some of this fucking linen, or like, put some horseshoes on some shit. And the horse gonna be the only goddamn one that'll ever run his fucking mouth to you about all that shit. And you won't know until it's fucking sitting there like, yeah, man, it was thousands of years ago. I'm a man now. Like, what the fuck? Why are you talking to me? Like, oh, well, hip knocks. Oh, well, cock block. What the fuck? I don't even cock block. And bam, it's not like I get a decision in any of this bullshit. And it's not like I fucking know them. Anyway, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it don't. If you ever hit that point, please understand, I don't know what the fuck is with you and the goat and the fucking cow. But that's alright, whatever. Anyway, all I know is that we like eating food, and I never really said anything about it. I just kept like making us some food when I had extra. So I don't know, and I don't care. I'm very like scrappy kind of poor kid like that. So it's like, hey man, I got $5, go buy some snacks and like, split up some herb or some shit. I'm very simpleton like that. But then it pisses people off and frustrates them so much, because it's like, how are you an encyclopedia, but all you want to talk about is some base level basic shit? Of course I can't like afford all that bullshit. Who the fuck wants to talk about that? I don't like talking about no succubus, incubus. That shit is like psychologically chaotic or psychotic, and I just don't owe them. So even when I have to bring it up, it's just like, what are you doing? Because like even your attempts to annoy me or ridicule information out of me to make me feel like shit about whatever your loss is still the same 25 mil for each one of you. And it's just like, well, of course they're paying the politics, not you, to penny push the people into what process is for their real philosophies. Of course they don't owe you a penile intellect. I don't even owe you a fucking code about it. Don't you get it? I don't owe you. I don't owe you a fucking thing. I don't even owe our parents anything. And then even by the end of it, I love and care for all of that stuff, and I take care henceforth as much as I can. But this is a man, then fuck no. I didn't really like give up on why I just don't backstab. You know, like how many people do you have to avoid? How many bullets do you have to dodge before you realize that like you don't understand the person, but I don't talk to you either. Get it? Like, you know, what the fuck? Right. But anyways, back to the fucking point. Either way, they're worshiping and inspired by the wrong things, and I'll never like what do they want to call it, a seedy woman, a Jezebel, all these other fucking things. But like, whatever, you like getting off and fucking rocks. Don't get confused. Even when I'm being classy, I'm not talking about them. We really got a problem with probably more like perverts, but if it's just a name that you've owned and had more fun with, then go away. I don't go out of my way to look for any of that bullshit, just like go live. But like trying to get my opinion and figure out what's wrong with me, how about maybe there's nothing wrong with me and I'm not afraid of you to talk to you and tell you this shit, but it's just not that fucking important to bring up. And if your life is already maintaining without that much complexity, then I don't give you that shit. But if you know there's a better change for the fucking establishment and you learn something from me, then why are you like trying to use it against me or trying to make me feel stupid when if they tried to do that to you, you're a better egg to pass that information off than how fast you are, how much you get around, or life's fast anyways, or die with a cause, or be about something more than just that. Or like, it's not like they're a low life. It's like what you're penning off on is not your 2 cents with me. It's the fact that you told them the right thing on your way out, and it's better for the fucking world. And then when you get your freedom and break, it's not due to what you are or what you did. It's just a better world. But sometimes those type of people like turn into trash for no reason and then try to eat and mimic everybody else until they find out what's wrong with them to live a better life. Some people get away. Some people eventually go their way. So we don't owe, you know, bottom line. By the end of it. But we're just like watching cackling demons in the background slave to initiatives and properties that are worth more than philosophies, or philosophies that are worth what they know is property. Intellectually speaking, copyright prohibited, no prohibition, would prefer to be inebriated. Of course no one cares. Do you know why? You're just a sicko. I'm not going to sit there and just fence a sicko for people's entertainment. Like I said, drama and romanticism were not something that they did to pass time and entertain. You either fetched or you were fetching. You don't get it, do you? You either went to go get the object or went to go work. And that's all. The way you got confused and let yourself have a good time wasn't our fucking problem. Otherwise, no one would have probably gotten married. They probably would have just been working their asses off and be like, where is our spaceship? Take us to the new Egypt. The new Egypt. Why near Thanos? It does not have to be near Thanos. Why did they fuck each other until they etc. 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 I'm glad you think my soldiers are hot though. That's cool. But anyway, etc. etc. etc.